Hello patrons! Please bear with me while I have this shaky cam going on. I am going to talk a little bit about my art that you can see hanging behind me. Thought that might be interesting to some of y'all. So I actually started my college career in the visual communications field at Northern Illinois University. I intended on being a graphic designer. It didn't work out. But what I did learn was a pretty cool style of drawing that I really enjoy, and I've been doing a lot of. I like doing portraits in Sharpie and with only using vertical lines. So that, I think they call it hatching, not cross hatching, but just hatching. And so this is how I've done my little band portraits. I've done portraits of individuals and various things like that. Creating value with the vertical lines. Basically, concept is the closer you get the lines together, the darker it appears. So I do that all with Sharpie, and I have my favorites and my personal ones I just did for myself hanging up on the wall behind me, above me. You see them anyway. So I'm going to individually talk about each one of them for you and kind of who they are, how I did it, etc. And I hope you enjoy it. So first up here you will see Chad Gray of my favorite band, Mudvayne. I've been a huge fan of them since they came out with LD50, their first, I believe in 2000 or 2001. So yes, I was one of those nu metal girls back in high school. Chad Gray is a huge inspiration of mine. He's an amazing singer, and I really wish he was still doing work with Mudvayne, but, such is life. So this one was my first, which is why it's not quite as detailed. I liked doing the pop of color of blue on his goatee, which in the LD50 era, that was what he actually looked like. And the background, the little molecules there, was kind of used from their LD50 album and had that on the background. So that's what I went with. And Dig was one of their most popular songs. Probably, I think it was their first single. So it would have been the first thing I heard of theirs and got me on the track to where I am today. Next up we have Till of Rammstein, the lead singer. He's amazing and gorgeous. I'm very proud of this one, the detail in his face, and he looks like a total creeper, which is wonderful and why I love it so much. His hair was fun, it's a mess, but that's kind of the point. His eyes I particularly love. Let me try to zoom in on those. Look at that creep. Isn't it great? Rammstein is another big favorite of mine. I've listened to them since Firefly was on the, Double X or Triple X movie. Me and my husband found him that way, and we've been totally obsessed since. I've seen them once live in concert from the nosebleeds and still felt the fire and their pyrotechnics all the way up there. It was amazing. And now we have Corey Taylor of Slipknot from the Iowa album days with his creepiest and I think best mask. All the stitching and really nasty looking plague kind of deal going on. He had the red hair at the time and got the Slipknot logo there, of course. So this one was a lot of fun. Doing the masks is totally unusual and looks crazy. There's a lot of value for me to play around with there and try to get the definition, the 3D showing out is kind of nuts. So I had a lot of fun with that one as well. Been a fan of Slipknot since they were around pretty much too. Good old Midwestern metal. Seen them probably 3 times at this point, and they have always been awesome. High energy, fantastic shows. And next up is Waylon Revis, formerly of Mushroomhead. And this one, I've got his crazy looking mask too. I was really happy with how this one turned out. The kind of skull motif he's going for in it was a lot of fun to play around with, making the definition of his cheekbones was kind of insane, but I think I did it well. Got the logo in the background that I also have tattooed, and of course Mushroomhead. I do have, if I can zoom in, also have a guitar pick that I got at one of their 6 shows I've been to, and that was a ton of fun as well. I'd highly recommend seeing them. I don't really know what to expect now that Waylon is not in the band anymore. I really enjoyed his voice. Jeffrey Nothing, that we'll see later, I of course love his voice as well, but something about Waylon really drew me to the band even more. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here, and if I even like where they go from here. So there we have our dapper in a tie but creepy-ass mask, Waylon, formerly of Mushroomhead. And now we have Strike of Ventana. I am obsessed with Ventana. I'm sure you can figure that out based on our YouTube, as I have a ton of songs by them on there. I love them, love them, love them. They are very deep and philosophical, at the same time being completely brutal, and I am obsessed. Another mask design, which I love doing. This is probably my favorite, actually. The detail I was able to pull off on this one, I was super impressed with myself. You can really tell that it's a gas mask, and you can see the like raised collar even. I actually have danced in this mask that I designed to match him, or his, and I just love it. So find them online, YouTube, Facebook, Ventana, Ventana. They are awesome industrial, new industrial, so fantastic music. To explain the green there, for some reason he decides at every show to have green goop in his mouth and let it dribble out slowly. So I wanted to definitely do that in this drawing. I actually got it on my head once at a show with him where he pulled me real close while he was singing to the song and drooled on my face. It was fantastically hilarious. So definitely find them. They're probably the best thing I've heard in the last several years, honestly, in new music. And now we have Jonathan Davis of Korn, the lead singer there. I've always loved Korn as well since I was into the music scene. I probably hopped in when Untouchables came out, but I love their older albums. I actually love their older stuff more than their newer stuff. Let's see, probably made this one based on the background when their Volume 3 album came out, hence the little hashing in the background. I think this photo of Jonathan Davis, though, was kind of Freak on the Leash days. This is another one I really enjoy because his face is so detailed and clear. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Korn. I've seen them several times live as well, and they are awesome. My favorite memory probably is going to a Mayhem festival once, where it was crazy hot all day long, like over 100, and I was sweating my face off. And finally it got to be starting to get dark, and Jonathan Davis comes on with his bagpipes, and as he starts playing the bagpipes, there's this cool breeze that was just fantastic to feel. And then it started pouring rain, and I could not have been happier. Saved me from heat stroke. So, thank you, Jonathan Davis and Korn. And last but not least, we have Jeffrey Nothing of Mushroomhead. He is still in Mushroomhead. I think he's the oldest member of Mushroomhead, and he is a badass. He has a very unique voice that I've always appreciated. I don't even know how to describe it. You'll just have to listen to it. This one was a really fun piece to do as well, with all the blood and gore, and his jacket is really distressed, so that was fun to play with. Also got to deal with teeth. Not so sure about those teeth, but I tried, and that's all I can say. So, I've already talked about Mushroomhead, so here's Jeffrey Nothing still in the group. and being awesome at his probably almost 60, maybe over 60. So I hope I'm that badass when I'm that old. And finally, this is the last one that I have kept. I've made a lot of other portraits for friends and family, etc., and those have obviously gone to their homes. This is one of mine, clearly a self-portrait. I actually did this for a class when I was in the social work program, where we had to basically depict a mental illness. And my entire life, as long as I can remember, I have struggled with anxiety, and it kind of runs in my family. So this was my depiction of my anxiety and kind of how I'm feeling when I'm on the verge of panic. Lots of things grabbing at me, can't breathe, crying black, why not? And I have my hand around my throat because a lot of it is my own doing, is how I felt. So this one's a more personal piece than just doing portraits of lead singers of bands I like. So definitely wanted to hang on to this one. It was a fun one to do, but kind of emotional and hard to do at the same time, because it's myself in a really weird position. So, but that's me. I'm a fan of the morbid and macabre. So let me get a little bit more detail in there, in my hair and stuff, and the fun gas mask. So, yeah. So now I'm going to hang out here by myself. I hope you enjoyed me talking about my art here. It was pretty cool for me to share this. It's not something I share too often until people come to my house and say, what the hell is all that creepy shit on your wall? If you're ever interested, I do take commissions. All I need is a photo. I can't do stuff from my head yet. That's not one of my fortes. But send me a photo and I can always do in this style. I can do other styles, but this is kind of my thing. So yeah, hope you enjoyed listening to my rambling about my art and my favorite bands, I guess. And thanks for being patrons. As always, you guys are what help us continue doing anything that we do, and we really appreciate you. As usual, drop any comments that you have for videos you might want to see, things you want to hear about us, learn about us, etc. And we love you guys. You fucking rock. Have a great evening.